Hello and welcome to NTEP Politics. Today we are going to be making my 2022 Senate predictions. Start with all the safe races. For the Republicans, we got all these races. Oklahoma special. That's gonna be an interesting election in the primary, but it's safe far no matter who wins. Laymeyer actually may end. I saw a poll that saw like Laymeyer is within 10, and is within like 10 in the Oklahoma primary. In terms of Langford, that'd be a very insane race if that were to end up happening. But we're just going to wait and see on that primary. There's going to be a lot of very interesting primaries. Ohio, I might make a video on the Ohio primary coming up soon. But today, I'm going to be give these seats all ratings. I think that Illinois probably barely safety. Let's put it likely. It's going to be a very close race. Biden only won the state by like 16. We're looking for a very high. We're looking for a very high red wave this year. I think it very well could push Tammy Duckworth into a likely D race, but I don't really see how we're gonna end up winning that race. I think they have some good candidates, but we're just going to wait and see. Tiffany Smiley is interesting. She seems to be getting very close in a lot of polls in Washington. We haven't seen a poll in a while, but she has good fundraising. And she has very good fundraising. She's doing well in the polls. She's only within a couple of points. Haven't seen a poll there in a while, but it seems that Smiley has been doing well in the last polls. But it just seems they stop putting out polls. And Colorado, Eli Bramer, he's not in the race anymore. They've rolled him out at the convention, and it seems like it's going to be a harder race to win. But we have some good candidates, some with a lot of funding. More than $1 million in funding. I think we have to run one of those candidates, but Ron Hanks is one that's getting a lot of attention, but he barely has any funding. So I think I think it's going to be very interesting, much harder to win the race without Eli Bramer, but I think it's still possible, but very, very unlikely. Mandela Barnes in Wisconsin is really just imploding. The campaign is just imploding in Wisconsin. He's going after Ron Johnson like taxes, but like he's literally been accused of like tax fraud himself. So it's literally just they really don't have any candidates. It seems that he's the only one who's doing well. He has like a 10-point lead in the Democratic primary polls, and yeah, he's just imploding. He can't even win in his internals, and I think the red wave is really going to push Johnson to allow him to win by a fairly sizable margin. Florida, I think, is safer. I expect Rubio to win by more than 10 points. He won by like 8 in 2016. I have no doubt that he is going to win this time. He'll win Miami-Dade. He'll probably even win Palm Beach. He'll win Hillsborough easily. So I think all of those, he'll do very well in the suburbs, very well with Cubans. I think it's very, if they unseat Rubio somehow, I'd probably do something very bad to myself. But I mean, he's not really a good senator, but oh well. Alaska also safe. I don't know why I didn't put that there, but that's going to be an interesting primary, especially with Murkowski voting for Ketanji Brown. Now we have our last likely R race. That's North Carolina. I think that Ted Budd is going to win very, very easily. He has like a 7. There's some polls recently that came out. It showed Ted Budd with the lead in the primary. He has like a 7-point lead over Cherry Beasley. So I have no doubt that it's a fairly solid pollster too. Emerson. I think they even underestimated Youngkin in Virginia, and I don't believe they polled New Jersey, but they were solid in 2020. So they have Budd up 7 in North Carolina. So I think likely our North Carolina is very, very fair. So now we're going to do these races. Nevada, I think Lake Salt's a good candidate. He's been doing very well in the primary. He's well over 60, I think, in the primary. He's in terms of the polls, he's up. For the past 4 polls in Nevada has had him up. It was very rare to see like Trump up in Nevada. There was only like one poll in 2020 that had him up. The Trafalgar poll, that was like the only poll that had him up in 2020 in Nevada. But it seems that the Democrats are collapsing in Nevada. The DSA has taken over the party in Nevada, and I think that this is going to be a very easy race for Lake Salt to win. I think it'll flip in the governor race too. I think it's completely the Democrats' fault that they're losing this race. So Next, we come over to Arizona. So Arizona's primary is interesting. It seems Masters, Brnovich, and Lemon seems to be now in a three-way. Lemon's just coming out of nowhere, but there was a poll that had Lemon out. It was an internal. It was obvious. I don't think it was real, but Lemon seems to be doing pretty well. He could very well squeeze this out. I don't know, but Brnovich really isn't campaigning. Masters is campaigning. He has a lot of cash on hand. He's saving it until the primary season, but it'll be a very interesting race there. I think that Kelly is definitely in a lot of trouble. His vote for Ketanji Brown will definitely affect a lot of things. And with the moderate Republicans, I don't think that a lot of moderates are very happy with that vote. So I think that Mark Kelly is very screwed. He's not really even a centrist. He's just a liberal and everything. He got very lucky that he was up against a bad opponent, but he has some pretty solid opponents. Brnovich is meh, but like Masters is very good. Lemon is like the boomer candidate, but I think he's a good candidate too. So that's just my thoughts on Arizona. So Georgia, we got Herschel Walker in Georgia. He seems to be leading most polls. He seems to be doing very well. It's like above 70 in all the primary polls, and I think Herschel is going to do very well. He's very well name recognition. He was a legend in Georgia. I think he has a lot of potential to win this race, and seems to be leading a lot of the polls at the moment. Close race, but it seems he's doing very well. The governors are doing very well. Purdue had like a 5-point lead in one of the polls, and Kemp had like a 7-point lead. So no matter who's the nominee, it seems that Stacey is just messing up the Democrats everywhere. I don't know. She was a very strong candidate in 2018. Now she's just like she's messed up. I don't even know why this happened, because like no one said that any of the things she would do with like not conceding would affect anything. I don't even know why. She's very far left, but it seems it didn't affect anything in 2018. But I guess the red wave is just getting to her. So now we come over to PA. I think PA is a lean R, but McCormick and Oz, they're not really strong candidates. They're very weak on conservatism, but I think they can speak enough to the Philly suburbs to squeeze out a win. And I think Lou Barletta and Doug Mastriano, even if I think Mastriano would lose statewide, possibly. It'd be very close, but he could lose. If he does lose, though, it would help enough in the rurals that it could push Oz over the top, Oz or McCormick, because they're not really good rural candidates. They're good suburban candidates, but I think they could help get each. I think Mastriano could get Oz over the top, but it'd be a hard race for the governors. But I think the governors will help the senators in this case for PA Senate, and we got some. So we have Bolduc. It seems to be he's doing very poorly in the New Hampshire polls. I'm putting in lean D. I've always had a tilty, but I don't really see how he's gonna win this. I mean, Bolduc is like he's down more than double digits to Hassan, and Chuck Morris is the other candidate. He's only down like 5. So, I mean, we'll have to pay more attention to this race. It's still very early, but I think that Hassan is definitely the favorite right now. So that is my map. 53 for the Republicans, 47 for the Democrats. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Goodbye.